As we said, Clay Aiken's first CD ever is coming out next Tuesday, October 14th. And on it, one of the songs has a line that says, "Will he always love you? Is that the measure of a man?" We return now to Aiken's life and to the man he insists is just his biological father, and the pain that continued to haunt the kid who's become a star.
Would he be alright now when the dark unfolds? Would he always love you the best that he knows? Would he give his life up to be all he can? Is that how you measure? Oh, is that how you measure a man?
It's hard not to wonder if somewhere out there in the millions and millions of viewers watching Clay Aiken rocket to fame was the man named Vernon Grissom, singer, Aiken's biological father, and the source, he says, of so much heartbreak. What's the worst thing he ever said to you?
I think when he told me, he said I was a mistake. He didn't have anything to do with me being raised.
But do you think he did the best he could do?
Unfortunately, he probably did, but not for trying. I don't think he cared that much.
Aiken says Grissom did care about his daughter, Deborah, Aiken's half-sister, but just not for his sensitive, different little boy. What was that like when you were with him?
The routine was to drive to the video store near his house, pick up 3 or 4 movies for me to watch during the weekend while I sat on the couch and he was either away from home or back in his room asleep.
Aiken was still a baby when Grissom and Aiken's mother divorced. Was he abusive?
Yeah.
Hit her?
You know, she doesn't talk about it ever. And I don't know how thrilled she is with me talking about it either. There are pictures of what he did to her. So, you know, I know it's true.
In 1980, Grissom was charged with assaulting his wife. Aiken says he used to drink heavily. What's the thing he did to you that hurt the most?
That hurt the most is his indifference. I mean, he's a racist. He drinks.
What do you mean a racist?
Oh well, I mean in the classic term, you know, he's a racist. He has no tolerance for people who are different. And then on the weekends that I would see him, you know, he'd be using the N-word left and right. I mean, I think he, in some ways, many ways, was a symbol, as I got older, 12, 13, was a symbol of what I didn't want to be.
How did you decide no more? I'm not going to see him anymore.
I just said, you know, you don't ever call me and ask me to come. I always call you. Next time you want to see me, give me a call and I'll drive up. Sure thing. And he never called, ever.
After high school, Aiken says he decided to make the break official.
When I changed my last name, I didn't talk to them about it. I made the decision on my own, and so I took my mother's maiden name.
His father's family was upset, and he says when he tried to go to his grandmother's funeral, it was brutal.
The funeral director came up and asked me to leave, that the family didn't want me to be there. And this is part of the thick skin.
You know something? I don't believe you have a thick skin.
Do you not? When I'm not talking to you about it, I don't think about it.
Heavenly Father, we
and through it, his mother's family was there to support him, even support him through another blow. At one point, the half-sister he loved, Deborah, had called to talk to him. He worried she was angry at his name change, too.
And I think I panicked, and so I didn't call her back. And that February, she committed suicide.
Where were you when you heard?
I was at school in Charlotte. And my mom said, your sister Deb, she shot herself last night. Really, really, really hit hard. And I spent a long time convincing myself that it wasn't me. I wasn't the reason that Deb committed suicide.
It has now been almost 10 years since Clay Aiken has spoken to his biological father. who did recently talk to a tabloid magazine. He's stopped drinking now, right?
That's what I hear, yeah.
So if he's a changed man and wants to tell you something about that time,
Then call me.
he hasn't called at all.
No.
He just said it. He just said it in print.
He called the Star, but he didn't call me.
What would you most like to hear him say?
I'd most like to hear him say, "I love you," and mean it. And I think that's the roadblock I'm at now, is not knowing if I could believe it if he said it.
Today, the sun is rising. A celebrity, even back home, where he always goes to check in on his special autistic students.
What I wanted to do was work with kids with behavioral and emotional handicaps. It's a puzzle, learning each child, because each child's different.
I can't believe it! Oh, God bless you! Oh, we love you so much!
But even back home, the fans find him.
Thanks.
Hey, how are you?
Some fans who believe they can say anything.
We're glad to see you.
Oh, thank you. And a lady came by and she said, "I heard your songs on the internet, and I listened to Invisible, and it needs some work."
Aiken's first album will hit the stores this week, and already it has huge momentum. In 1 month, his friendly competitor, American Idol winner Ruben Studdard, will have an album out too.
I love you too.
Little bit of you wants to outperform Ruben's album? Little bit of you, little bitty, not
Probably
quite
a little
perfect part of Clay.
Probably a little bit.
Does he want to beat you think?
Oh, I'm sure. We don't tell each other that. We don't talk about it with each other, because our friendship is much more important than my album sales. Honest to God. We don't really know what comes of an American Idol contestant. I'm a realist. I'm not an optimist. I don't want false hope. So I don't know where this is going for me.
Steeling yourself in case it all goes.
I am. I absolutely am. But you know what? And that people don't believe me. Simon Cowell doesn't believe me, and you might not either. I think I would get over it really quickly, though. I talk to friends of mine who are now teaching. They've graduated and they have classrooms. And I get really jealous. And I get really excited talking to them about their classrooms. And I want one. I think I'd be happy. And you don't believe me, do you? I mean, because it's
Almost.
hard.
Not quite. Almost.
You know what's funny is I got as far as I dreamed I would get. Never thought I'd make the top 10. But I got as far as I dreamed.
If I was invisible, wait, I already am invisible.
We tried to speak with Clay Aiken's biological father, Vernon Grissom, but received only this written statement. He said, "This is between me and Clayton, and if he wants to come to me man to man, he knows where to find me. If not, then no comment." We did, however, learn that some of the members of the Grissom family, some of those Aiken had loved, were watching his weeks of triumph on American Idol.